Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem was directed by Jeff Rowe and Kyler Spears and stars Nicholas Cantu, Brady Noon, Shamon Brown Jr., and Micah Abbey as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a group of mutant turtle brothers who were raised by a mutant rat man, Splinter, voiced by Jackie Chan, who raises them to be his sons, as well as very skilled fighters in the ninja arts, and also wants them to, stay away from the human world, as he sees it as very dangerous and prejudiced against mutants. When they decide to finally get out of their shells, so to speak, and go outside the human world and really explore it, they meet a young girl, April O'Neil, voiced by Ayo Edebiri, and also come across a large criminal conspiracy started by a well-known supervillain mutant, Superfly, voiced by Ice Cube, who plans to try and turn the entire world into mutants, everyone in the world into mutants, and get rid of all the humans. Naturally, the Turtles decide that they need to stop Superfly, while also coming across other people, and also other mutants, voiced by other talented people such as Paul Rudd, Post Malone, Natasha Dimitro, Rose Byrne, Seth Rogen, and John Cena. The film is very much made for the sort of Gen Z crowd, featuring a lot of references to things that people might be into today, whether it's, classic or older pop culture, new stuff like internet trends, or just brand new sort of things like Attack on Titan is brought up a couple of times, which kind of surprised me, but I found interesting. Internet sensation Mr. Beast makes a cameo at one point, which was talked about quite a bit, and I find it humorous that in the IMDb they have to mention his real name to be formal, I guess, and it's Jimmy Donaldson, which of course I didn't really know, because I wouldn't know that, and I don't know a lot about Mr. Beast other than Charity and YouTube and stuff. And then of course lots of different Easter eggs, Easter eggs for Ninja Turtle stuff, references to the original creators of the classic 80s comic where they started, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, and just so much stuff. I found it to be a pretty good movie, even with the idea that it was going to be more for Gen Z, and even though I actually am technically Gen Z, some things about it I don't like that much, like the generation itself, not the movie. The movie was great and played with a lot of that stuff very well, and it didn't feel annoying or forced. It felt natural enough as it can be, still being kind of a Hollywood movie. On top of that, it melds well with the Turtles themselves. They feel like real teenagers, and that's helped very much by them being voiced by real teenagers, which is pretty much a complete first for the Ninja Turtles franchise, because of course every time they're voiced by adults, because that's so much easier in terms of getting a good performance. But these kids did pretty well. It's funny getting to hear them have their voices crack, sometimes get deeper. It feels real, and I just love it. And then, of course, all the other performances are great. Jackie Chan does a great job as Splinter, playing this protective father, because he's always been a father in other versions of the Ninja Turtles, but he is much more of classic protective parent in a kids film. And by the end it gets more heartfelt, and I surprisingly loved that. I just kind of love stuff like that, honestly. Now that I'm older, becoming a sad adult already, honestly. Of course, this is an animated movie, so you gotta talk about the animation, and it is really good. It very much follows the Spider-Verse style of, 3D animation with sort of an overlay of 2D sort of animation to make it look like a comic book kind of come to life. And I love how unique the art style is, and it's not like copying Spider-Verse exactly. It's trying to be its own thing, because it's almost a street sort of art style. It's a bit more sketchy, a bit more, sort of almost slightly grimy and interesting, I'll say. And I kind of like it. I like how the movie looks. And when I mean grimy, I don't mean that the colors aren't, popping. There's a lot of color in the movie, and it's great. The fight scenes are really good, as they should be in a movie of this, caliber, and a movie about, characters who, fight for a good amount of the time, at least in the source material. And it's done very well. The soundtrack's also pretty good. Most of it is, pre-existing songs. A lot of hip-hop, which fits the street sort of aspect, or the street style of the movie. So it fits very well. No song that was included felt out of place. It all felt natural, and I love that. Love when it doesn't feel forced. The little bits of original score for the movie is decent. Nothing to quite write home about, but good. They clearly wanted to use the pre-made songs to fill the soundtrack. That's what they wanted, it seems. And on a little side note, I don't usually talk about cursing or swearing in terms of a movie review, but I was kind of surprised the amount of cursing that was in this movie, because this is a PG rated movie. So even though I know Spider-Verse had some cursing here and there, this movie had a lot of it. Surprisingly, a lot of it went to Ice Cube, which did feel natural, even if it's obviously not completely what he would be used to if you've listened to his music or seen a lot of the movies he's been in, just saying. But it was kind of fun in that sense. I'm sure that as long as you don't throw any harsher words out there, it's fine to throw a bunch of them in there for a PG movie. In terms of cons or bad stuff, there really wasn't any bad stuff, except for what is a little bit of a pet peeve, though I think other fans have this pet peeve too, and that's their inclusion of Leonardo having a crush on April, mostly just because the last time a Ninja Turtles adaptation or iteration went for the idea of one of the turtles having a crush on April, it was just kind of awkward. Mostly just because the fact that, she's a human and they're turtles. They're mutant sentient turtles. It just kind of doesn't work quite too well. But, it wasn't overstated in this movie, so it was passable. I'm sure if they make a sequel film, they'll delve more into it, but I'm sure they can at least use some good writing for it, even if I don't quite like it. But hey, that's just me. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's pretty close in terms of quality and what I like, my personal enjoyment, next to Across the Spider-Verse. And I do love how similar they are in terms of being, animated films based on established properties that are beloved, that use 3D animation with, sort of a 2D, almost 2D overlay, emulating a comic book, but they're so different in many ways, and that's, what's great. They're kind of two different beasts for the most part, and that's pretty cool. And I said everything else that I had to say about the movie, the acting, the characters, the music and all that, pretty good. In terms of other Ninja Turtles, stories and how it stacks up to all of them, I'd say it stacks up pretty close to high. Next to, like, maybe the first live-action Ninja Turtles movie, and also, like, the 2012 Nickelodeon series. I'd say pretty close in terms of quality and enjoyability. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I would definitely recommend this movie, though, like I kind of said with my Oppenheimer review, if you're wanting to support the writers and actor strikes, then maybe wait for it to come out in Blu-ray or streaming. That's totally fine. I support that. I'm gonna give Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem a 9 out of 10. Really good. I hope you enjoyed this movie review. Be sure to check out some of my other ones on the channel, or just my other videos in general. I would also appreciate it if you liked, comment, or subscribed. It'd be a decent help. I'm not making money off this channel, so it doesn't quite matter, but I find it nice. I find it good support. And other than that, see you guys next time. I hope you guys have a good day and take care.